This is a Java program to talk us through a simple number guessing game. As an example of how we want the computer to run, the computer is going to randomly choose a number between 1 and 100. In this case, maybe it chose the number 79, and it won't display it, it just chooses it. And then our user is going to receive a message that says, please enter your guess. And they enter 50. The computer replies, you're too low. Their next guess is 75. It says, you're still too low. Your next guess is 87. And it's going to say, oh, you're too high now. So you start choosing a lower number. 81, still too high. 77 is too low. If you choose 79, it goes correct. That took you 6 tries. So that's what we want our program to do. It's very similar to just a simple guessing game. So let's take a look at our pseudocode. So the idea here is we need an idea to keep track of the count, like how many times they tried to do this. So at first we'll set it to 1, because if you try it at least once, it's going to be 1. We'll let the computer choose a random number between 1 and 100. And then we're going to ask the user to enter a guess as to what it is. And while the user's guess is not equal to the computer's number, tell if it's high or low, get them to guess again, and increase our count. And once the user's guess does equal the computer's number, then display the correct number of guesses required. So let's take a look at that when it comes to Java. So I'm going to say new project here, and it's an application, and let's say number guessing game. So in our number guessing game, make this nice and big. So this class will create a simple number guessing game. Okay. So our main method here, let's go back to our pseudocode. We have this idea of a guess count. So I'm going to say int, so that's the easiest way to keep track of a count. Let's call it the guess count is equal to 1. And then I need to create a random number. We could use several different ways of doing that, but the easiest is to just use Java's built-in random number generator. So I'm going to use a class called random, and I'll call my variable my random number is equal to a new random object. And it's highlighting that in red because that's not part of the basic package. So if I left click, I can add an import for the random. And up here we see it imports the class called java.util.random. So now I can create a random number. So let's set aside the idea of the computer number, right? Whatever the random one is, and the user's guess. So the computer number is going to be equal to, so I'm going to use my random number generator here, and it's going to tell me here's the most reasonable methods to use, those above the line. So if I click on this one, it actually says it returns a pseudo-random uniformly distributed integer value between 0 and the specified value. So it's going to give me a number between 0 and 100, right? So I can say 100. So it's going to give me 100 possible permutations. It'll actually give me a number between 0 and 99. So what I'm going to do is whatever number I received, I'll increase it by 1. So it becomes between 1 and 100. And now we have a choice here. We could use a while loop. We could get the user to enter a number, and then do a while loop to keep doing the same thing. Or we can use a do while loop, which will ask the user at least once for the guess. So we'll say while the computer number, right? That's our random number that was generated here in line 18. Well, that does not equal the user's guess. Keep doing this. So let's take a look here. We'll ask the user for their guess. So system.print So just a simple print statement to the screen. And now, in order to set the user's guess, I'm going to need a way to read from the keyboard. So to do that, I'm going to create a scanner object. And I'm going to call it keyboard. And again, it doesn't know the scanner, so let's import it. I just left click on that little light bulb and it does all the work for me. So now I've imported random class and the scanner class, and I can use them. So now I can say user's guess is equal to keyboard dot. And the keyboard object knows that I need an integer, so it's suggesting these methods. So let's just use next int. Give me the next integer. And since we're now getting another guess, our guess count should be equal to whatever it was before plus 1. So really, what we should do here is start it at 0. Okay. So why is this complaining? Let's take a look. Oh, it expected a semicolon at the end. There we go. Okay. So it's going to do this at least once, and it'll keep doing it until the computer number matches the user's guess. And once it does, then we can just print it to the screen. Okay, so it'll keep going through this loop, and then at the end it says it took you %d tries. So if our guess count was, say, 6, then it's going to say it took you 6 tries, right? Wherever it sees %d, it's going to substitute in whatever the first variable is that it sees. Let's give our program a little run. Okay, please enter your guess between 1 and 100. So I'm going to start in the middle and say 50. Oh, but I didn't give myself any feedback here, so now I'm just really guessing. So let's stop that and come back here. Okay, so if the user guess is less than the computer number, right? So if that is true, then we want to say system.out.print, tab over a little and say, so if our number is too low, say you are too low. Else if okay, so the reason here that I said else if is I'm testing if it's too low and I'm testing if it's too high. Now if the number is just right, I don't want to print anything to the screen. I want to get to this where it'll exit our loop and then print that we're correct. So let's try running this game again. So I'm going to enter my guess. So I'm going to start with 50 and it says you're too high and it looks like I need a line return here. So let's stop that. I'll put a little line return at the front of our statement here. Okay, please enter your guess. Start with 50, too high. So half of 50 is 25, too low. So I know it's between 25 and 50. So let's try 40, too high. So now it's between 40 and 25. So let's try 30, too low, 35. So now I know it's between 30 and 35, 32. Fabulous, I'm correct. It took 6 tries. So our program works as expected. The big things to look at here is the idea of this do while loop, right? So I'm going to enter the loop at least once, and it's going to give me feedback if I'm too high or too low, and increase my guess count. And it's going to keep checking if the computer number is not equal to the user guess, then do it again. And it'll keep doing that while this statement is true. So I hope that gives you a little better understanding of how to use the scanner class, the random class, and do while loops with a fun little program. See if you can beat 6 attempts. All right, thanks very much.